Up next, we are talking about the beautiful fusion of AI and art. How is it that we can bring AI to the creative form? How is it that we can really venture into new realms of artistic expression? How is it that we can explore this beautiful partnership between creative potential and also get a way for us to redefine and make sure that it prompts us not only how one can be an artist in the 21st century, but how is it that we can do a combination of both in this era of creativity? For our segment on AI and art, redefining creativity in the digital age, we have a very, very special speaker amongst us. He's someone who's given years of his time experience to the world of filmmaking and fashion photography. And to showcase to us more about the beautiful combination and fusion of AI and art, who better than him? Please put your hands together as I present to you Mr. Vikram Bawa, fashion photographer and filmmaker, joining us right here. Let's make some noise.
Hi. Check. No. Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me here, ETH and Times of India. So basically, I'm a fashion photographer, commercial photographer, and I've been doing this for almost 30 plus years. And always experimenting with film, digital, now into AI. Just a sec. I think it's... no sound. So that's some of my work. Some is traditional photography and some of it was AI. So we've come to a point where it's very difficult to understand at times where we are, like, starting and where we are finishing in terms of photography. So, just a little bit about myself. Started out as a maths graduate, law student, tried my hand at, DBase, Pascal, language C, all those things, getting into the computer world. Didn't hack it so much, so put up a chemical factory, experimented, came up with some new things. We were leaders in our industry. But I guess being the creative that I was, I just jumped into photography one fine day, and that's what I did. So that's been my journey. And I don't know how many of you have ever seen film photography getting scanned, digitized, retouched. I just had a conversation outside where we used to actually retouch negatives, remove pimples on the negatives by, painting on the negatives and things like that, which Photoshop brought in later, which was, technically digitizing, if you want to call it. We went into digital cameras, and from digital cameras, now we've come into AI, where AI is still there in, in our Photoshop and other areas. So, I look at AI right now, I've been asked, how do you use AI in your work? For me, creatively, there are many ways to look at it and many use cases for it. In the sense, I use it as a, sounding board, if you want to call it, an idea board, where we come up with creative ideas. I have producers who come to me and they give me storyboards created in AI. I have art directors who come up with ad campaigns and they show me that, this is what I like, this is what I've created in AI, can we recreate it in photography? And yes, we end up doing that because AI has obviously trained a lot of photography. And, so for me, it's now the new creative assistant, where all of us, I'm sure a lot of us in this room must be using simple things like ChatGPT. It's like, everybody uses it, I guess, maybe. But like we use it all the time for contracts, for research, ideations, social media. All our texts now on all our social media platforms are mostly, used with ChatGPT or any other platform that you want to use. We have AI agents now, right? So I use it. I'll show you a couple of slides. So there are a lot of people who ask me, like, small businesses are going to go out of work, or like, photographers are going to be out of work. I said, no, that's not the case. Everything is a tool. For example, handlooms became automated. A lot of people lost work, I agree, but it's called upskilling. Like, if you can upskill to something else, that's where you will, uh, move forward. If you don't, you're going to be left back. So AI, the next world, if you want to call it, or the next 10 years is going to be about upskilling for everyone, whether it's a person who's working at a smaller scale, smaller business, higher, upper scale, anything. It has to be done. It has to be done. So I'll give you a few real life cases. For example, this is a campaign I did with the Olympians a while back. This was all over the hoardings in India. And so these Olympic stars, they train all over. They're not in one place. So 2 months I was traveling, shooting them separately. And these guys are not shot. Of course, they are there in the images. So a great use case for AI, where I had to shoot these gentlemen for the client. The client is sponsoring these gentlemen, these Olympians, on the racetrack. So what was I called in to do? Okay, we have their photos on the racetrack. We don't have them. They're not available to be shot in the studio. How do we do this? I accumulated the images that the client gave me, which he had already shot of his stars. We trained a model. We recreated them in post. We got them in the running poses that we wanted to, put them in these pictures. And finally, like these are this was one of the other ones. So all 4 of them are created on AI. And they were actually on the hoarding. So, a lot of people will say AI cannot be used in high res. No, it can be used in high res. You can generate, you can train, you can upscale to quite a large scale nowadays. So this is a real life scenario where we can use AI. This was another campaign. This was the raw photo that I took. I created a small set. We were doing this for a real estate brand, and they needed to show a large garden, things like that. And we ended up creating this in Photoshop using generative fill, part by part pieces, using AI in different ways. These are the ads that then were on the hoardings. Same here, same here. So for me, AI is the biggest tool and the most exciting tool in the last, decade. It's like after digitalization, this is the future, at least for the next 10 years, if you want to call it. Like, again, use case scenario, don't have the budget to go to a swimming pool, create a swimming pool. Anyway, right? So we shoot it on a gray background, and this is what we do. This is another campaign just on the hoardings and metros and everywhere. So the thought process was a lot of hair flying because of the wind. So I actually shot our model, shot a part of her with the hair flying, and we used AI to, this girl on the right is the same girl on the right, exactly same clothes, everything same, only the hair is being generated, retooled, relit, and so it's my work. So when you talk about ethical considerations, I would say work like this. Create something, and then, do not plagiarize. You can't, because AI is very easy to copy. It's very easy to take someone else's work and make it yours. And I think one of the reasons I'm getting a lot of work in the AI space, in the commercial photography market from agencies, is because I don't end up stealing. I end up getting inspired. I do the shoot, and then I recreate what I want using AI by training a model. There are so many of these platforms where you can train them, put in pictures, and, same. Earlier, we used to, do take stock, create a background, put the lights, and try and match it in Photoshop. Now AI matches the lighting so well, you really don't have to sit down and do all that Photoshop work. Backgrounds created in AI from one of my other pictures. So I had a travel shot of green grass, hay, like shooting. I put it in AI, I said make it pink, it made it pink. I put the model in, I relit it, and this is what you get. This is how we shot. Same fake hair. I think we used to do retouching like this with Photoshop. It would take us like days to get the hair sorted. Any hair brand you see, it's shot like this, and then you put patch by patch, and you do Photoshop. And now AI just makes it easier. Even with the lighting, I gave him the lighting was 70% mine, but that base was helpful for the hair to be like that. Same, instead of using stock, now I can create backdrops and put them, match the lighting, shoot in the studio. Yeah. So I also sell as an artist in the country. When I say I sell as an artist, my works are sold as art forms. And for me, it gets very easy now. So I shoot my models and then I create what I want around them by my thought process. So for me, as a creative, there's no limit. It's like, आपके server पे लगाते जाओ towers जितना भी चाहिए. It's the same thing for me. Thank you, everyone.